This is Conversations on Careers and Professional Life. I'm your host, Gregory Heller. On this mini-series, I'm turning lessons from my MBA course, Professional Communication, into practical insights you can use every day. Today, I want to share a framework that will change the way you structure every presentation, many emails, and pitches. It's called the Minto Pyramid Principle. And once you start using it, you'll notice two things. First, your ideas will become easier for others to follow. And second, you'll sound more confident, more credible, and more persuasive because you'll be leading with clarity. The Minto Pyramid Principle comes from Barbara Minto, who developed it while working at McKinsey in the 1970s. It's a simple but powerful way to structure ideas, like a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid is your main point, your recommendation, your answer, your so what. Beneath that are the supporting arguments, the key reasons why your audience should believe or agree with that main point. And at the base are the evidence and details, the facts, data, and analysis that give those arguments weight. The principle applies at every level, to the presentation as a whole, to each section within it, and even within each section, each individual slide. In other words, your entire presentation should tell one clear story, and every slide should tell one clear story that ladders up to it. Let's be honest. Most presentations fail not because the ideas are bad, but because the structure is confusing. When I review student decks from case competitions or strategy projects, I often see too many ideas fighting for space on one slide. Multiple messages, disconnected data, no clear through line. Your audience can't follow that. Remember, if everything is important, nothing is important. The pyramid principle forces you to make choices. It asks, what's the single most important point I want them to remember, even if they have to leave after the first 5 minutes? That's what goes at the top. Everything else must serve that idea, or it doesn't belong. Let's talk about how to actually use the pyramid principle. Start with your answer or your key recommendation. Imagine that the most senior person in the room, the most important person in your audience, gets a phone call and has to leave just 5 minutes into your presentation. If they walk out then, will they know what you're recommending? Don't make your audience wait until slide 17 to find out your point. Put it right up front. Then support it with your major premises. The 3 reasons why. There's a reason consultants love the rule of 3. Research shows that once you move beyond 3 supporting points, credibility actually drops. 4 or 5 reasons feels like overkill. 3 feels complete. There's a saying I love. 3 is a rhyme, 4 is a crime. So here's an example. We recommend launching the pilot in Austin because customer adoption is highest, operational costs are lowest, and the competitive landscape is still open. That's your pyramid principle in one sentence. Each of those 3 supporting points could become a section or a slide with its own data, story, and insights. Finally, check that every piece of content, every chart, bullet point, and image supports one of those premises. If it doesn't, cut it. There's a principle I share with my students that's referred to as Chekhov's gun. It says, if there's a gun hanging on the wall in Act 1, it needs to go off in Act 2 or Act 3. If it doesn't, it shouldn't be there. The same is true for your slides. If it doesn't support your key message, it shouldn't be there. Let me touch on a few common mistakes I see. First, starting with background or methodology. I know it's tempting. You did the research. You want to show your work, but your audience doesn't care how you got there until they know where you're going. Start with the destination. Second, putting too much on one slide. Each slide should have one key message, and the title should say it, not just label it. Not customer survey results, but instead, customers are willing to pay 20% for faster delivery. That's a story headline, not a file name. Third, forgetting your audience. Remember in episode 1, I talked about AIM, audience, intent, message. The Minto Pyramid Principle works best when it's built on that foundation. Who are you talking to? What do they care about? What's the action you want them to take? So here's the takeaway. Before your next presentation, don't start in PowerPoint. Start with a piece of paper. Write your main point at the top. Underneath, list your 3 strongest supporting arguments. Then add only the data and visuals that prove those points. When you've done that, you've built a story pyramid that's clear, concise, and persuasive. And remember, slides don't cost anything. Use as many as you need, but only one idea per slide. Start with the answer, support it with logic, end with confidence. That's the Minto Pyramid Principle, and it's how you turn information into influence. Thanks for listening. You can find resources and examples from my professional communication course at the Foster School of Business on my website, conversationsoncareers.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend or classmate, or someone who's building their next presentation deck before they open PowerPoint. Thank you for listening to Conversations on Careers and Professional Life. Help others find the show by leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Conversations on Careers and Professional Life is produced by me, Gregory Heller, with support from the Foster School of Business, Office of MBA Career Management. Learn more about the show, find show notes and past episodes, and get in touch with me at conversationsoncareers.com.